And thank you everybody for joining us. And we are going to go ahead and jump right into the metal gap. You'll see up on the screen first and foremost is that I do have a map of product availability, and the reason why I want to start with this specific map is because we do offer two different series of metal gap. I will speak a little bit, I will be speaking to each product directly, but wanted to show where the metal gap and our newer series called Metal Gap 2 is available. In some states that you see here in the purple states, actually Metal Gap 1 and Metal Gap 2 are both available. What's certainly nice is that each Metal Gap and Metal Gap 2 certainly have their benefits and nuances. That doesn't necessarily make one better than the other, but they certainly do help you to position the right plan with your customers when you're given the choice in this purple states here. Now also, while we're not speaking to it today, but if you are looking at our IHC sales platform, especially with Metal Gap, Metal Gap 1 or short-term medical, you can certainly check the box to add on Metal Gap to a short-term medical plan through our sales platform. Very simple process. Very simple process to do. So with that, I want to go ahead and pull up real quick here some PowerPoint presentation here. IHC writes their portfolio products on 3 carriers that we own. IHC, for those of you that may not be familiar with us, we are actually a publicly traded company. If you do want to look at additional information on IHC, you can actually find us on any financial website by looking us up under the symbol IHC. We write our products based on really 3 different carriers, as I mentioned: Madison National Life, Standard Security Life, as well as Independence American Insurance Company, all 3 of which are A- rated by AM Best. Looking at Metal Gap here, this Metal Gap plan is written on our Madison National Life paper, again A- rated, offering 3 different platforms. First and foremost, let's talk about the value proposition of Metal Gap or even Metal Gap 2. The value proposition of these plans is that they are very low cost bundles of insurance, bundles of products such as supplemental accident benefits, as well as critical illness benefits, and in some cases even hospital indemnity, certain levels with a hospital indemnity provision, or in or outpatient surgical benefits to provide a lump sum. Today's health plans, for what I always say is that, the Affordable Care Act, like it or love it, it has done a couple of things. It did offer guaranteed issue to those markets that needed it. It also offered, advanced tax credits to those that couldn't previously afford insurance. But now a lot of these people, great, they have coverage for their pre-existing conditions. They have a plan that they can afford with advanced tax credits, or maybe they don't have advanced tax credits, but they still have the coverage, but they can't afford to use the plan because they're facing a $6,850 maximum out of pocket with their ACA plan. A lot of people can't come up with that. We're talking about Metal Gap. How we position this in front of a customer is very, very simple. Simply asking that customer if they had an accident tomorrow, or if they had a critical illness, a heart attack, cancer, a stroke, something like that, how would they pay $6,850 out of pocket? Would they have to dip into savings? Would they have to finance it on a credit card? Would they have to get a loan? Would they have to ask a friend or a family member for that money? These plans are designed to supplement and make any bronze plan feel more like a gold plan by offering, again, that guaranteed issue bundle of the accident as well as critical illnesses. Again, underwritten by Madison National Life Insurance Company, A- rated. Metal Gap plans, as I mentioned, they're supplemental insurance. Metal Gap is written as a association-based plans, and these are not considered ACA compliant plan designs, and hopefully you guys know that you're not going to be presenting them as such. What does Metal Gap include? As I mentioned, supplemental accident. It does include also a critical illness component. Jumping in on the supplemental accident with the 3 different levels here, plans A, B, and plan C. contain a $3,500 benefit on Plan A for supplemental accident, $6,350 for Plan B, and $6,350 for Plan C. What this means is that after the deductible, we will reimburse, and say on Plan B, which Plan B easily represents 80% of our total metal gap sales. I'm going to show you why here in just a second here. The way these benefits work is that it is intended to indemnify the consumer and make them whole again for a covered accident. What this means, as an example, if I were insured on Plan B, I have a $6,350 supplemental accident benefit. I do have a covered accident. I break my leg. I go to the emergency room, and they say, yep, you have a broken leg, do all their stuff. I then have a $4,000 bill from the emergency room. Maybe it's even after all the discounts and everything from my health insurance coverage, if I do have coverage. I submit that $4,000 bill to IHC. We will then reimburse $3,500 for that emergency room to offset that out-of-pocket cost. That's the $4,000 minus the $500 deductible. However, you have up to $6,350 per accident per person. So now that I have that broken leg, I've only used $3,500 of that broken leg for that broken leg. I have up to $6,350. So now all subsequent claims related to that specific broken leg, I can submit those and have them reimbursed up to $6,350. Or in this case, for example, what if I could have additional office visits? I might have specialist visits, physical therapy. Maybe I have to have a surgery to reset the leg that I'm going to have to come out of pocket for. Well, in this case, then you can submit those claims, prescription coverage even. You are able to submit those claims and have it reimbursed for that broken leg up to $6,350. So now what we've done with a $6,850 maximum out of pocket being reimbursed $6,350, we've reduced that out of pocket for that accident down to $500. Really a great program. Or of course, if they were on Plan A, it would be up to a $3,500 maximum benefit there. And again, these are per person, per accident benefits, which means, so 2 months later, I'm out goofing around and I fall and I break an arm. I then have up to $6,350 for that additional broken arm. And again, per person, per accident. They don't reset every calendar year. Also, the plans do include $7,500 lump sum critical illness benefits. These are paid in a lump sum, applies towards the primary insured and their covered spouse, if that covered spouse is enrolled, for items such as a heart attack, life-threatening cancer, strokes, comas. There are some limitations built into the plan. If there's a diagnosis within the first 30 days, or and then also versus being after the first 30 days. All the Metal Gap plans do need to be purchased before age 65. However, they can keep them until age 70. Now, also Plan C is a little bit different. Plan C does include a accidental death and dismemberment benefit at $10,000, terminating at age 70. Also, Plan C does include a $500 daily hospital confinement benefit for the first 10 days of a hospital confinement. So it's a very nice way to offset. Now, however, Plan C, Plans A and B can be purchased by anybody regardless of the other type of coverage in place. However, Plan C, in order to have the indemnity benefit, they do have to have an underlying Obamacare qualified health plan. And again, the coverage for the hospital confinement terminates at age 65. All the plans also include a great membership free discount prescription card. Just one more way to help them control their costs when they're using their bronze plan. And then also there is Davis Vision discounts built into the plan that is included in the premium, no additional cost, included in the premium there. And then also there is some news briefs, because these are association based plans. There are some news briefs such as how to get well, what's going on in the health insurance industry, all included in there. Now it's very important to keep in mind on the Metal Gap plans that there are pre-existing condition clauses. Obviously, an accident is not considered covered if the accident occurs prior to the effective date of the plan. However, for the hospital confinement and critical illness, it is all based on the first diagnosis with a 12-month look back preceding the effective date, which, by the way, these plans are all available in 4 different effective dates. They always default to the next available effective date, which can either be the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, or the 22nd of the month. Under the critical illness coverage, again, there are some exclusions. Some of the quick ones that we see here, obviously, your self-inflicted injuries or sickness or attempted suicide, drugs, or if you're on illegal narcotics or committing a crime that result in a critical illness, or anything that might be excluded there. So, looking down here, why is it Metal-Gap such an easy plan to present, especially on a standalone basis? Metal-Gap is an easy plan to present because it also offers excellent and easy to understand premiums. By that I mean for Metal-Gap, and this will probably help you here to better get a feel for why Metal-Gap Plan B is our most selling plan. Again, Plan B represents roughly 80% of our total Metal-Gap sales. If we look here for Plan B, very easy and predictable pricing. Plan B, you're talking for a single person about $1 a day, just over $1 a day for coverage. $30.67 in, say, Texas, $27.30 in these states here: Colorado, Ohio, New Mexico. Only $54.87 for a family, and that's whether there's 2 or 10 people in the household that are covered under the plan. $54.87. And that means that everybody in the household would have their own accident benefit. The adults, the primary enrolled, as well as the primary enrolled eligible enrolled spouse would have the $7,500 critical illness benefit. Every enrolled individual has the prescription discount card, the Davis Vision discount card, as well as the CA newsletter. So these are easy, low-cost plans and very affordable that allow you to go back to your existing customers, or maybe even new customers, as you're prospecting, to put a very low-dollar plan in place to help them supplement any plan. Now, even though these are individual plan designs, there are and available to individual households, there's no reason why there's no reason why somebody cannot purchase these, even if they were on their employer's plan. Employers' plans out of pockets have certainly gone up, out of pocket costs. There's no reason why, again, even if I'm on an employer's plan, I can purchase Metal-Gap individually. I can be on an individual major medical plan. Or for plans A and B, I can not have any other coverage in place. However, if I do have a qualified ACA plan design, I can also look at Plan C. But I think in looking at Plan C, you see the difference in the premiums here. We went from, in Texas, $30.67 for an individual up to $68.55 for a single person just for Plan C, and really only you're looking at an AD&D benefit and a hospital indemnity that first 10 days, $500 daily indemnity benefit. It's a nice plan design. However, they, for $38 more, a lot of people are seeing Plan B as your greater value. Now that's moving on with Metal-Gap 1. Now Metal-Gap 1 also is the primary member has to be over the age of 18. In other situations, in other plans with the Metal-Gap 2 that we see, Metal-Gap 2 can be written as children-only policies for ages 2 and up. A little bit of difference between Metal-Gap 2. What we did with Metal-Gap 2 was we updated the plans to better reflect 2016 ACA plans. Metal-Gap 2 is underwritten on Standard Security Life Insurance Company with our other carrier, Standard Security Life, with up to 4 plans to choose from. It's still a guaranteed issue bundle of supplemental accident, guaranteed issue bundle. It also includes the critical illness plan. And they still remain guaranteed issue. Metal-Gap 2 can also be written on children-only plans. Works pretty much the same way as far as how the accident works, the accident benefit works. again, to supplement that, what's real important to know about Metal-Gap 2, though, we offer the 4 different plans. We'll talk a little bit more about these: MG35, MG65. Anybody can purchase the MG35 and the MG65. For the MG65S or the 35S plans, these contain some indemnity-like provisions so that in order to purchase the S options, which are provides the indemnity, they must have an underline and attest to that they have a ACA compliant plan design. And we ask that through the application process. And it really, just like Metal-Gap, the value proposition of Metal-Gap 2 remains the same. It's if I have to pay out $6,850 tomorrow for an accident or a critical illness, how am I going to do that? Am I going to have to dip into my savings? Do I even have savings? Am I going to have to use a credit card? Am I going to have to ask a friend or a family member for a loan? Still contains, like I mentioned, the accident medical expense benefit. And again, this is a per person, per accident benefit. I mentioned in Metal-Gap 1 that there is the deductible on the accident benefit. Metal-Gap 2 does not contain that deductible. But it still does remain per person, per accident. So if I were on MG65, which is among Metal-Gap plans, which is our best-selling plan design among the Metal-Gap 2 series, I have a $6,500 per person, per accident benefit. So how this would work? I have an accident medical expense, we have any time periods have left. Within the period of 12 weeks while the policy is in force, we go and have an accident done. We have a $6,500 benefit. $6,500 benefit per accident. If I were to break my leg, I have that same $4,000 accident. I have the same $4,000 broken leg. I go to the emergency room, $4,000. I'm going to be reimbursed the $4,000, but I have the $6,500 for that broken leg. So now I can still submit subsequent claims related to that broken leg, such as office visit follow-ups, prescription out-of-pocket costs, or maybe I need to go see some specialist physical therapy, or I need to maybe even have an additional surgery to reset that leg. It's going to reimburse up to $6,500, so it's really nice in that my $6,850 my deductible now, or my deductible and coinsurance on my bronze or silver plan, that $6,850 is now reimbursed up to $6,500. I've truly reduced my out-of-pocket cost to $350 for an accident plan, and it still does remain open for other accidents, such as if I, again, 2 months later, I break my arm, I am then able to have up to another $6,500 reimbursement for that. Metal-Gap 2 plans also all contain a accidental death and dismemberment benefit. It is subject to pre-ex. It does have the regular exclusions on there. The regular exclusions as far as if you were committing a crime, in the process of committing a crime, or if you were under the influence of illegal narcotics, or if you self-inflicted wounds, for example. But it does contain a nice little AD&D benefit that terminates at age 70. Look at the critical illness here. All the plans do also include a $7,500 critical illness benefit on there, with a $2,500 critical illness benefit for each covered dependent child, based on the first occurrence of the covered critical illness. It does not cover critical illnesses, even if you had cancer. You may be recovered, maybe the customer recovered from that cancer, but then has a second diagnosis after being insured on Metal-Gap 1 or Metal-Gap 2. Cancer would be considered excluded from that particular coverage. It's a real easy benefit to understand. What is different about Metal-Gap, I mentioned in Metal-Gap 1 that there were the $500 per day up to 10 days of hospital confinement benefit, $500. Metal-Gap 2 has a couple different benefits. Rather than having a daily hospital, we added in some surgery benefits. As you see here under MG35S plans, you have a $1,000 inpatient surgery benefit. or $750 outpatient surgery benefit lump sum, one outpatient benefit per calendar year. Also on Metal-Gap 65, more and more surgeries are becoming outpatient surgeries. It also includes, the Metal-Gap 65 can include a $1,250 one outpatient benefit per calendar year of a lump sum reimbursement for a covered outpatient surgery. And then we come along with some normal exclusions here. So notice of claims are very easy. Claim forms are submitted online, or can be submitted via mail. Normally we attach simply an explanation of benefits. Most of the people that purchase Metal-Gap plans have some form of underlying coverage, whether it's an ACA plan, a temporary medical plan, or the employer's plan. They can submit their explanation of benefits from the medical provider, attach it to a simple claim form, mail it in, and then we go ahead and reimburse them the amount per the claim provisions. But before we jump in, before we exit out of that, John, do we see any questions coming across on the chat function or anything?
Right now, Bob, we're clear.
Awesome. Awesome. Then what I want to do now is I kind of want to jump into our sales platform just so you can see how easy it is even to enroll individuals. If you're not already appointed with IHC, I really suggest reaching out to the brokerage, getting contracted with IHC, because that will give you access to a lot of tools that IHC can offer you, that IHC Group can offer you. Everything starts with our back office portal here at myihcgroup.com, where in the back office here you have underwriting status, where you will be able to see all of your business, all of your customers. You can even view applications, which means you have access to be able to view policies, view the ID cards, welcome letters, all that information. You also have really, really easy link creation tools that you can use in email. You can email a customer, a prospect, or an existing customer, letting them know about Metal-Gap. This will be updated with your agent number, so that even if the customer clicks and enrolls on their own, you are going to get credit for the sale. Excellent way for some great passive marketing that supplement your active marketing. There's also banner ads. Banners, for those of you that have websites, or maybe making these part of your email signature, for example. Customer sees this, they can check it out and click and enroll themselves with your agent number. You will definitely get credit for the sale. You have access to all of these, but most importantly, you can also quote and enroll right over the phone, or right there with anybody. One of the things I didn't mention, Metal-Gap and Metal-Gap 2. Well, I mentioned that Metal-Gap does have the flat premium rates. Metal-Gap 2 is demographically and geographically rated, so there is not a fixed premium for Metal-Gap 2. Metal-Gap 2, though, can offer some great advantages here. I'll show you here on Metal-Gap 2 how easy it is to get a quote. If you were an agent just wanting to run a proposal, I want to look at, say, well, let's look out in Texas here. Bear with me, I apologize. Let me check some here. Let's put in a zip code of 75057. How easy this is to enroll. I'll just do a single person. Do a male born in 80. Now let's do a whole family here. We'll add a spouse. And let's add another child. Add a child. We'll do a family of 4. And then go ahead and hit submit. That's going to give us access to the rates and how they break down. Very competitive here. We look at the MG65, the 35S. From here, once you have the proposal in front of you, you're actually able to add on. I mentioned that our products, our sales platform is designed to help you cross-sell and package products together. Right here, I can add on, hover over here to select a Metal-Gap plan for telemedicine, with my Metal Gap 2 plan, MG65. This is going to give me 24/7 access to Teledoc, which, by the way, all of these are separate products and separate commissions. So now I can add an RX pay card, but I can package these together, talk to the customer about them, and let them know not only are we bundling and packaging together to supplement for an accident, to supplement your major medical plan design, I'm also going to give you a telemedicine package, a prescription discount card, as well as an individual dental plan. The individual PPO dental plan for only $176.57 a month, much more rounded coverage, but letting the customer decide, you know what, I need to work on that premium. No worries. Let's pull this down. All I want to do is look at Metal Gap here. No problem. We have this built in here. Great program. We can hit from here. You are able to email this proposal with an application link that the customer can complete the application on their own, or you can click on apply and help that customer with your assistance right over the phone. So you can start out here. Let's just do MG65. Start putting that in. Notice that we do request, but we do not require the Social Security number. I put in my spouse's name. Put in my child name. It's already populated the date of birth, the gender. Using the street address here, putting in a street address, the home phone, and then the customer's email address. It's very important that you always use in this place here, always use the customer's email, because two things are happening here. We are creating a account for the customer on our marketplace. So this is where the customer is going to be able, they're going to get an email from us once we hit submit. They're going to get an email from us saying, hey, we got your Metal Gap policy, it's been issued. Click right here and download your policy. You can also make note of this password here. It's a temporary password. The customer will receive an email as well with this temporary password, but you should always make a note of it just in case you need to help them to download their policy. We're going to put in the spouse as the beneficiary for the Metal Gap 2 plans. From here, you can actually let them continue their application. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I didn't mean to actually click it. You can email it to them at this point, and you are able to, they can read through the rest of the disclosures and finish the application on their own. Or you can hit continue with a review and acknowledge. To review and acknowledge, obviously if you were doing this over the phone, you can download their application for a review to this point, read all of this, and then you simply type their name as you typed it in on the application. Pretty creative names, I think, for each product. Again, from here, you can email as well, and it will email the application to this point where they can put in their own payment information, review everything, and then submit the app, or you can hit continue here. This brings you to your secure payment center. Breaking down the premium for the ongoing monthly premium, as well as the one-time $25 enrollment fee. Discussing the 10-day free look, as well as then pay by credit card or by bank draft. Now this is where I have to stop because this is a live application. You can complete the purchase once you put in that information, typing in the account signature as it is, the name on the account, typing it in as it is applied for, complete the purchase, and within about 5 to 10 minutes, the customer will have an email. Always important to let the customer know, check their spam, check their junk mail just in case, for the emails from IHC. That discusses how to access their policies. But you will also see the policy information in your activity report. Right here, came to activity reports. You can see that Texas MG65, the customer we just worked on, is already in there. We need to complete the application still. It's incomplete. I'm logged in as a demo. I haven't really completed any of these specific policies though yet, but we can complete the application. If you see if somebody maybe somebody used your link, you'll see that listed here. You also get an email that says, hey, so-and-so started an application from your link. You can look here, see how they did. If it was submitted, if the application had been submitted, you as the agent would have the ability to also click here to download their policies. It would say view application rather than complete application. It would say view application, in which case you are then able to download the welcome letter, the policy details, and any fulfillment information that the customer did receive, in case maybe you want to print it and mail it to them, or maybe you want to deliver it to them personally. So Metal Gap 1, Metal Gap 2, each great products. Huge market out there for Metal Gap. With Metal Gap, it's a fantastic opportunity to re-engage with customers, build new revenue streams. Talking to those existing employees, or rather, I'm sorry, your existing customers, or like I said, using these as an opportunity to start business with the customers now, and maybe they're not ready to do anything until the next open enrollment, but very affordable to help right now start supplementing that out-of-pocket cost that is associated with today, that high out-of-pocket cost is associated with today's ACA or even employer plan designs. Of course, you can also package the sales as well. When you're using our short-term medical plans, there will always be a check-the-box option to use short-term medical and check the box to add on a Metal Gap plan to supplement. They can use it to supplement a short-term medical plan, or they can bundle however they want to. Very low cost. It's just a matter of communicating that out to your existing customers, and I hope you'll take advantage of it. So, John, with that, if we want to open it up, any questions coming through on the chat function?
Right now, Bob, it shows clear. I think you've done a magnificent job of describing the program. Thank you also for the behind-the-scenes peek at the working the agent website. That's very helpful.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, good. No worries. Thank you. Well, if there's no questions, then I guess we can go ahead and conclude.
I think that's where we're at. Folks, I want to thank you for coming on the line. Bob, thank you for the presentation. You will be receiving follow-up shortly, and it should come to you by the end of the day. Thanks so very much for coming on the line, and we'll talk to you soon.
Outstanding. Thank you, John.
You bet. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later, guys. Bye.